The audio is rolling.
We rolling. Why?
The weed is kicking in.
The green light is kicking in. Clap in, clap out the clapper. All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to another episode. Oh shit, we already fucked that up. You guys keep going.
Welcome to another episode of Mofos with a long podcast.
Hey.
You already know. It's your girl Reese without her spoon.
Oh my god.
And John Bluesack.
John Bluesack.
No,
oh no, that's weird. Blue balls.
But yeah,
I guess that dives into the episode too, because blue, we're doing the green nights. You just color base shit, I guess.
We do like a whole bunch of primary color shit.
Yeah, I mean, this movie definitely has a lot of that.
Primary colors.
Doesn't it?
It has like what? It has green.
It has red too.
Green's not even a primary color though.
I don't know my colors, dude. I'll just in Africa, man. It's red, blue, green, and black and white. We don't know about this whole like blueberry, sky blue, or what's other? I do a bunch of other shit. Watermelon pink or whatever the fuck you guys have over here. But yeah. So before we even start, hear me out.
All right.
So Dev Patel in this movie, the way he looks, I was like, if they ever make a Sister of a Down biopic, they could play a good Surge.
I thought you were gonna say like, I'm not gay.
No. Oh no.
I thought that's where you're going.
I was just saying. Think about Sister of a Down. Do you think he'd play a good Surge? Kankin?
Yeah, he kind of got the look.
Yeah, got the beard and everything. The whole time, just kept thinking about Chop Suey. But yeah, so this movie came out earlier this year, around July. Yeah, it wasn't promoted. I don't think it was promoted well.
I don't even know if it's out yet. I think it's early access.
No, I think it came out.
It's out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it came out during the summer.
I thought we were special.
Oh, no. I mean, we are, but... But, yeah, so it stars Dev Patel. And I guess it was directed by a guy named David Lowery, I believe. And I haven't seen any of his movies, looking at his filmography.
What has he done?
He's done, like, a lot of, like, maybe indie stuff.
Okay.
He did a movie with Robert Redford a while back.
I don't even know who Robert Redford is.
Oh, for real? He's like a...
I probably know his movies, not his name.
Most likely. He's like a... He was... have you seen The Winter Soldier?
Nah, I skipped that one.
Oh, damn.
I skipped a lot of the Marvel movies, to be honest.
What's another one? He's in Spy Game with Brad Pitt.
Never saw Spy Game.
Damn, I mean... He's a lot of, like, older movies. He was like... They call him the Brad Pitt of the 80s.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like he was the pretty boy, then...
What's the name again?
Robert Redford.
And he went producer? He went producer? Or director, you said?
No. The director directed a movie.
Oh, with Robert
Yeah,
Redford.
Robert Redford.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the day. Oh, not in the day, like
if I see his face, I might...
You most likely know him when you see him. I'm he's old as hell now, though. And he's retired. But, did you see any commercials with this about this movie at all? Or did you know about this?
So my thing is, I don't watch a lot of TV, but I did see ads for it on Instagram every now and then.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Did it grab your attention at all, or?
Here and there. You know, I saw it was another A24 film, and so like I guess they just. You know, they got all your info, so they know what to market towards you.
Yeah,
they know like, oh yeah, this fool watches A24 films. Put that shit on his feed, and then, So.
Yeah, there you go. It's like, I mean, A24. I like what they're doing because they're kind of like artistic directors. That's where they go to do their shit. And this movie gives me a lot of like the Lighthouse vibe of like just a director kind of doing their own take on shit.
Yeah.
Kind of like weird and stuff, but I enjoyed this way more than Lighthouse for sure. but we could
Yeah.
talk about that as we go on. So for me, the first like 25 minutes of this movie, dude, you can't tell me shit. Like it was like captivating to me from technically the sound, the music, the acting, the story. It just grabbed me.
Okay.
The first 25, like even the first couple of seconds when it has like the person narrating the intro, then the crown slowly like lowers onto the guy's head, Dave Patel's head, and it catches on fire.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, here we go. How do you feel about the whole like the intro and everything?
No, I thought it was strong. It was really strong because like kind of like you said, like you get it's like a whisper voice, not like the whisper song going on. And then talking about like, oh, you already know the story of King Arthur. Shit. Let's tell you a different tale. And then that crowd comes down, then his head catches on fire. I'm like, shit, what am I about to see, bro? Because I know A24 films, like, I feel like they all kind of have, like, a similar vibe, you know what I'm saying? They might be different directors, but, like, they all kind of keep that, like, kind of, like, it's like a weird vibe to it, but I kind of dig it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it was a strong opening, and then, like, the cut to, like, the church bell ringing, and the livestock and stuff. And I just thought, like, even like the B footage was like really well done. You know what I mean? Because like they'll just show you a shot of something real quick, so you can see it as like a transition into the next thing. Yeah. And even those shots were like fucking
amazing.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I thought this whole movie, I was like, this whole movie could be NFT. Because like every scene is like art. Yeah. Every single shot seems like art. And one thing I found kind of weird about the beginning, I don't know if, remember when, like you said, the livestock and there was like a building burning and stuff? Yeah. Like I was like, I know there's supposed to be more to that. Because second time I watched it, I was like, there has to be a reason they showed us that. But I just don't know.
The building on fire?
The building on fire and the person and the guy and the girl going on the horse.
Bro, there's a lot. Okay, let me just get this out of my chest right now. This movie, I could, like, there's a lot of symbolism, but, like, and maybe this is the conversation that I need to have, but, like, the whole time I was watching this movie, I was like, I need to have a conversation with someone smarter than me about what this symbolism means, because I can tell it's a metaphor for something. I just don't know what the metaphor is.
Yeah, it's not me, because I didn't know what the hell was going on. The most I know is that this movie is based on a poem, I guess, from back in the day.
Yeah.
And, lots of the shit that was happening, I was like, I'll read about it soon enough. I might watch it again. The most I could get about the movie is like finding courage and just being brave. But a lot of the other stuff, I was like, I don't do drugs or anything. This is one of those movies like, damn, maybe it's actually a better movie to watch high. Because there's just...
I don't remember if I watched it high.
No, yeah, it's just like a lot of the shots and just very trippy. I was like, this would be quite an experience watching this movie high.
Yeah, it was. What was it? Fuck, I just lost my train of thought. No, yeah, it was definitely like there were just moments where like they were creating tension, and just like it was kind of like long with and like drawn out, but like that was kind of the point, and I was like I fuck with it, but at the same time, it like definitely does make you feel weird.
Oh yeah. Like even like the music, they'll play lots of, and like the music play in a lot of the scenes. Even the subtitles was like unsettling music. You're like, yeah, that's for sure, because it definitely has just that weird feeling. And I like this movie. Technically, dude, this is technically the best movie I've seen so far this year, because there was just like a lot of the stuff that were playing around with. I was like, we need to see this more. More directors do some weird shit, just something different,
Right.
Yeah. They have like colors changing randomly in one scene, or one of the ones that grabbed me was like, it was just showing Dave Patel, Gyron, and the fox walking. Then all of a sudden, just flips. And remember that scene? Like, just keeps going. I was like, there was no reason for them to do that, but it was still so cool. You know? It just made that whole scene of them walking so much cooler. You know?
It really did. No, when he's like leaving out the village at the very beginning. That was a long ass shot of him just riding that horse, bro. I was like,
I thought that was really impressive, man.
Yeah, like, because he had to stay in character while he's riding the horse.
Then the kids are running.
Yeah.
The guy with the ship, the herd, kind of walks through to.
Oh, you said the sheep.
Yeah, sheep. Yeah, I didn't know mine.
Sorry, bro. It took me a second. I was like, ship. I don't remember.
Yeah, ship. The guy with the ship. It's a whole ass ship. just
pulling that
this.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, my bad.
No, you're good. That was my fault. It should have registered. I'm dumb. But no, yeah, like you said, a lot of the shots, like technically, and then just what was going on in the scenes and stuff like that, it all just kind of like worked to build this like beautiful, but at the same time like kind of like some of it was like kind of off-putting, like the mix of what they were showing you with like the music and stuff like that. Some of it was just like, I don't know. One thing, you know, because he spends his days in the brothels pretty much.
Yeah, he's a loser.
I mean, is that losing though?
I don't know. You're right. That's
if
true.
You can afford to
if you can.
spend your day in a brothel, I mean, I think to some people that's winning. You know what I mean?
Winning, like Charlie Sheen, such a dated ass reference, but yeah.
But what was I say? Yeah.
You were talking about how
Darby was hating on his girl. Like, I don't know if that's not really his girl, is
but
it?
she wants to be.
She wants to be.
But why?
I think he kind of wants her to be too.
Yeah.
But
they have a connection.
Yeah, they for sure have a connection.
Why does she?
She said the haircut's whack.
Oh my god! I thought it fits.
It's not the prettiest haircut in the world.
She looked okay to me.
I mean, it kind of matched the times. She's like, you know, I don't think they were, you know.
I mean, got that bowl of hair.
You doing lace fronts and stuff back there. You know,
kind of look like a store, like you know, you pick like I want this or some shit like that. You just it's one of those come here, they put the bowl in your head and just just circle.
Just cut along the bowl.
Yeah.
That's probably what they did with that shit.
I mean,
I hope the actress was wearing a wig. I hope she wasn't stuck like that for a while.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Okay. I think she looked fine.
To each their own.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that at all when I saw
about her cut.
No.
No, because you got like freaking Dev Patel. You have these flowing like fucking locks, looking like I don't know, like shit slicked back, like it's messy, but like that's how it's supposed to be type shit. And then she got the fucking bowl.
Maybe he cut her hair. Who knows? I don't know. That's what. If there was somebody black, I'll definitely have noticed. That's something I do, but I think it's just being, you know, from my experience. But besides anything more to add about, you know,
about her look?
Brothel? No,
him being in the brothel.
That's another enemy of the show we might have now. John Cusack, Will Smith, and bald-headed girl. I don't know her name.
And the thing is, like, she's not ugly. Mm-hmm. It's just a cut that they gave her. I'm like, y'all could have went in that prop room and found like another wig. You know what I'm saying? Like, just slap that on her. Y'all don't have to do her like that.
What if it was like her artistic take? What if she went there? It's like, hey, for this character, I should fuck myself up. What if? Ain't
no one gonna be like, I like your cut, G.
Yeah. Even the doctor's like, you sure, man? Like, yeah. But so
the brothel, there's a fucking there's a callback. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not really it's like a call forward.
Oh, like what?
To the end.
In what sense?
There's a line where he says, because she's like, Kavad, it's time to go, and he's like, No, I'm not ready.
Oh yeah, foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not ready. Another thing I actually found funny was so remember when before he goes on his journey, the mom was like, "Hey, wear this, like when you come back or something like that, or something like that." And she's like, "Hey, when you come back with your head high." I was like, "Yeah, I mean, he could come back with his head high." And, like that. The Green Knight just holding it, so
holding his head high.
Yeah, I was like, "That's a funny choice of words there." But yeah, so you're talking about the foreshadowing to the end at the grotto.
And then there was the fucking text kept changing on the title.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. You didn't like that too much?
I thought it was pretty cool, but like, because I have watched it by myself, and then I have watched it also with like Darby and her mom.
Oh, okay.
And Darby and her mom were just kind of like, what?
Oh, really?
When the text kept changing, yeah.
I thought that was so cool because it just grabbed me. It was something so different.
Yeah.
And I even like the lots of the shots. Like it was just like we said before, lots of like longer takes and wide shots and like a lot of like center framing and shit like that. I was like, man, this movie's amazing to just look at, man.
Yeah, it's definitely like visually captivating.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, I guess this kind of goes into my problem. So, like, they do a good job setting up the plots of, you kind of, like you were alluding to, like, what's his name? Gawain. He spends his time at the brothel a lot, but he seems to maybe not think highly of himself. And I guess when the Green Knight shows up, it shows maybe, like, why he wants to, like, just take on that challenge. Maybe to kind of seem bigger, and but this guy's kind of a goofball because the Green Knight, it shows Gawain does not read the terms and conditions because it's
for real.
Yeah, he tells him like, you could do whatever, but in a year, I have to repay it back, and this motherfucker chops off his head.
I mean, your first sign that something's fucky is this guy rolls through and he's like half man, half tree.
Yo, yeah.
Where half man, half tree motherfucker comes in and talks about like, yo, go ahead and cut me and I'm gonna cut you the same. Like, I already would have been like, this motherfucker can grow back.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever, like, I just already would have like, would have done. But he's got his pride, like, when I analyzed it, I'm like, he probably just chopped off his dome because he probably thought, well, like, if I just go straight remove this fool's head right now, in a year, won't be nothing to worry about because there won't be nobody to face.
He listened to Thanos like he should have gone for the head. He took that advice to heart. But yeah, you were saying like, yeah, it's just.
But like, I also understand Goward from like a character standpoint because like he's just kind of like doing his own shit, waking up at the brothel every morning and shit like that, and like I think people think higher of him than he thinks of himself. But at the moment, like he hasn't really proven himself to anyone.
Yeah.
And
or himself.
Or himself. Yeah. Because I mean, like, King starts talking about, where's my mom? Where's your aunt? And he's like, oh yeah, she couldn't make it or whatever. And then he's like, well, go ahead, sit by me, cousin or whatever.
Yeah,
his cousin.
I think that's his nephew.
Oh, it's his nephew.
Because that's his sister's son.
Oh right, yeah.
So that makes him his nephew, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, so they share the same.
Yeah, lineage. Because I think he's.
Oh, so that's his aunt.
Who? The queen? No.
Wait.
The woman, that's his mom. The one they called her witch.
That's Dev Patel's mom?
Yeah, that's Gawain's mom. So the king, that's his sister. His mom is his sister. Is the king's sister.
What?
Gawain's mom He's the king's sister.
I thought he said, "Where's my mother?" King Arthur. I thought he said, "Where's my mother?" Or was he saying, like...
Oh, that was King Arthur?
I thought... Yeah, that's King Arthur, yeah.
That shit fucking...
Yeah, that's King Arthur.
Oh, okay. Well, shit, my bad.
King Arthur's the guy. It's, because the story is one poem from a collection of poems, called, like, the chivalric
romance or something like that?
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. And it talks about, King Arthur and all that shit. And then this is one of what's up?
Because I kept waiting for King Arthur to show up in the whole movie.
So he's right there.
Like 3 times.
Damn.
Oh my god.
It even said in the description, bro.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, like man. King Arthur's nephew, Gawain.
Yeah, that's why I kept waiting for him, like, when someone's King Arthur show.
Damn. But yeah, so, throw their lineage aside, that shit don't matter, like, how that's related to her. Does it seem like she kind of set this shit in motion?
The mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like that, because she was writing the letter.
Yeah.
Right before the Green Knight shows up.
Uh-huh.
So... I was like, what's going on? And the way she kind of fainted after Gawain chops up the head, I wonder, it's like, oh man, this motherfucker, he fucked up.
I feel like, yeah. Because I think, like, she's like, he needs a chance to shine. And then, like, he also, because, like, when they were at the meeting or whatever, he's talking about, like, tell me a story of your great travels. And he's like, oh,
yeah.
To tell you some shit that went down at the brothel. I mean, like, you know what I mean? But no, like, he doesn't really have any tales, and then when he's around, like, the knights, they
have stories to tell and stuff like that.
Yeah, because they're all like heroes basically. And yeah, so I feel like she set it in motion so that he could conquer this and then, like, have a grand tale to tell. And then, yeah, kind of like what you were saying, like, as soon as he chopped off the head, she's like, this bitch.
Yeah. Like, this dumb motherfucker. Like, the guy who said, if you scratch my cheek or something,
It's like, all you had to do was, like, you know what? I thought about it. I was like, I would have been like, I have no reason to fail you, sir. Cut my, or cut his hand and then, like, clasp it.
Oh my
and then,
god.
Like, like.
The Predator? The Predator clap or something?
Yeah, well, like, yeah, just, like, cut his hand and then, like, clasp. Like, blood, brother. I wouldn't cut my own hand at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe I would have. They didn't know about that shit back then. No, yeah, they probably did that shit.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. Some shit like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, like, you meet up in a year, he cuts your hand, and then you'll just be like...
Oh, yeah, see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, see. I would have drop kicked him. That's what I would have done.
That fool was huge, bro. You would survive a drop kick.
That's true. That's true. I would have hugged him so I could be a tree hugger. I'm sorry. But yeah.
A tree hugger?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, after he chopped her for his head, you could see the mom just kind of faint.
Yeah.
And I guess that even everybody in that whole crowd's like, this guy's a fucking dumbass. But they did that whole Family Feud thing of, in Family Feud when somebody says a dumb answer, there's always that pause of like, oh, that was really dumb. But that's my family member. Good answer. Yeah. So that's what everybody does. Like, oh, this guy just messed himself up. But
he was too eager to, like, prove a point because he even talked some shit about, like, remember what happened here this day, and then, like, fucking. No, talk about coming, like, unprepared. Like, not knowing the assignment, because this motherfucker, like, talking about, I need a sword.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody got a sword?
Yeah, he was yelling, somebody give me a sword. And everybody is like, no, not my man. But yeah, I guess, that's what sets everything in motion. And
did he behead him with Excalibur then?
I guess so. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's like...
That's what's up. That's an honor. To get beheaded by Excalibur.
I mean, this whole movie actually is funny. It's all about honor.
Yeah, I mean, like, I might be like a little less worried about dying if I'm like, oh damn, I'm about to be beheaded by Excalibur.
Oh, for real?
You know, like...
No, you say that now until you're there. I'm about to chop your shit.
You're like, oh shit!
Yeah, you don't care.
Don't do it! Don't do it!
Crying and shit. I'll suck your dick. You're like, I'm just saying, menace to society. Yeah. But yeah, that event, that action sets everything in motion. And you can see, like, he becomes kind of like hood famous around, and yeah, but he still doesn't feel like fulfilled because he knows it's coming, and yeah, so he goes on his way into that journey, and yeah, the journey to me is like, this movie was amazing. This is like my biggest problem about the movie is the pacing during the journey. It kind of just like, it's still interesting, but it slows down so much of what started like the first 25 minutes. Yeah. So did you felt the same way?
I mean, a little bit, but at the same time, like, I didn't mind too much. I'm gonna say, like, I don't remember all the things that happened in chronological order. I remember all the things that happened on his journey, but like, when it comes to like what happened before what, I just know, like, basically like the last leg of his journey chronologically, but the first couple bits, I'm like, I don't know.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's interesting for sure, and you could tell like maybe it's building up to something, but it's just like, I kind of wish the pacing was a bit better. I mean, maybe like there's some points I was like, to me, it just kind of seemed like one of the most fucked up road trip movies. After a while, and I was like, looking back, and I was like, some of these stories, you could kind of rush through it in a way. Like the girl that got beheaded. Oh yeah. Yeah, and
he was like, "But your head's right there." She's like, "Nah, that shit's in the river."
Head's gone. They ask her like, where you headed off to? And I'm sorry.
Oh Lord.
I don't know.
Where you headed off?
Yeah, I'm saying. But yeah, that story, I feel like, okay, that could have been maybe kind of fat. Don't spend too much time on that one. To me, it kind of seemed like it didn't mean too much, but it is an adaptation. Maybe that's something that actually happened in a poem, and it just kind of adapting it. The one I really liked though was the one that it was really weird, and this is when I was like, man, I wonder how this movie is high. Like those giant Attack on Titans type creatures that they had.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was asking to like ride on their
backs on their shoulders. Yeah, I thought that was.
And they were just like, nah.
I thought they were about to grab.
Yeah.
And the fox protected him. Yeah. Yeah, or did something, but they still kind of showed him the way. But that was so trippy when I first saw it. Like I didn't expect seeing that. And
it was like kind of beautiful.
Oh yeah, it was shot very well. And like the way they were standing, like just kind of looking up into the sky. Yeah. I was like, man, this movie it has to be nominated or win an Oscar for like just cinematography.
Yeah, the cinematography is like beautiful.
Yeah.
And like honestly, like although the creatures like didn't have like a lot of defining features, they were still kind of like beautiful in their own way. Yeah, the giants. I probably would have asked him for a lift.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Like, hey, man, can you run me by the gas station?
Yeah. That's like the Uber back then. But yeah, just that middle section. But the last leg, that's when it starts like picking up again. Yeah. And stuff. And
that last leg was like the weirdest.
Oh yeah, it was very strange.
Well, so I mean, even before that, homie gets jumped.
Oh yeah.
On the way there.
And scavengers.
Yeah, and then he loses his belt of protection.
Protection and the axe. That's what I was going to ask you actually. So, because the first time I watched this movie, admittedly,
they took the axe.
Yeah, they took the axe. The guy took the axe. That's what I was going to talk about. Man, he starts swinging it like a fucking dumbass, and it's like, oh, I'm about to go, finish your task, and he takes his horse and runs away.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So first time I saw it, like I said, I was watching it at night, so I was kind of tired. So I was kind of going in and out. So by the time I was fully awake was around the parts with the giants, and he had the axe again. I was like, I must have missed how he got his axe back. Then I watched it again, and I don't remember how he got his axe back because in the next story he just has his axe again. I was like, what did I miss? So
dang, that's weird.
Yeah, because it was gone and he was chasing after them or after the horse or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the next story, he just has the axe again.
I remember he meets up with the horse again.
Maybe that's where.
Maybe he finds it.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe it was there.
Because I know you see that guy kind of at the end.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's a spirit at that point?
Possibly.
Oh, well, at the end.
Oh, the end isn't. Oh,
yeah,
right.
So,
and that's another thing too. Is like it shows you one thing, and then like it shows you another thing, and so I'm like, is this like alternate timeline? Is this like this is how this could end up, or like like what's really going on? Because there's a scene because like when they jump him, they like bind him, and so he's like on the ground like in his binds. And then, like, the camera cuts away and then comes back to him and then he's just a fucking skeleton.
Yeah, I love that shot so much.
Yeah.
Because it, like, slowly rotates back. And,
yeah.
Dude, that shit was so cool.
It was really cool. I wonder how they did that.
Yeah, just, like, a lot of this movie, I was wondering how they did it. Sorry, you were going to say
They may have done it similarly to, there's a show, I don't know if you've ever seen it, called Kidding.
With Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
On Showtime. And so he's basically like a Mr. Rogers type guy, and he has a show like a Mr. Rogers type show that people tune into like every week. It is like a little kids show, but there was this one character. She's like she was a drug addict, and she was like in a really bad relationship.
Okay.
And through watching the show, like she like found the will to like better herself, and so there's just it's like a scene, but also kind of like a time lapse, and the camera just keeps rotating around her apartment, and I actually got to see behind the scenes, and like as the camera's rotating, like she gets new furniture, like things just start looking better. She starts looking like more professional, like she's wearing different outfits and stuff like that. And so, like, when I saw the behind the scenes, it's like whenever the camera wasn't on there, there was a whole crew, like, moving walls, moving furniture and stuff like that. And it was, like, getting it done really fast. She was, like, in one corner, like, getting changed or whatever and stuff like that. So it was, like...
That's really cool.
Yeah. So I was thinking, like, maybe they might have done something like that.
I can see that with this, especially since the camera kind of moves slow for that scene. So maybe it's enough time to kind of change stuff.
Yeah.
But it's you have to be precise with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the shots here just has... It's weird how, like, simple shots are, for me at least, the ones I think the most about, like, man. Because, one, it's like the acting has to be on point for that whole shot, Then the design has to be... Everything has to just be perfect. And I feel like a lot of hard work goes into simple shots than maybe like a Michael Bay movie where just cutting here and there and shit like that. So there's like more ways to fail with simple shots, and so when you say it's actually executed well, it's like, oh, that's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Then but yeah, so we just talking about what the you were talking about the last leg. Before that, do you have any problems about the movie or with the movie?
Kind of like what I was talking about, like the first one, and I get like I guess it leaves things open to interpretation, but at the same time, like I said, there's a lot of things that seem to symbolize something of greater significance, but the metaphor is not clearly stated or like really like, I don't know, obviously inferred, in my opinion. And so it's like, I see, you're like making a metaphor for something, but like I don't know what that metaphor is.
Oh yeah, this one of those movies like you have to watch multiple times or read about to kind of get some stuff. Like yeah, there was a lot of things that went over my head, but I made a purpose not to look it up. Just maybe one, trying to form my own opinion, and two, I don't know how it's going to affect the review.
Right.
So I went to it afterwards and look it up and see.
The ending is abrupt.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, but I guess that's kind of. I think I know what happens.
Mm-hmm. I think I know. I think it kind of ends definitively.
You think it's pretty definitive?
Yeah, I besides the post credits, I guess, ending kind of confused me.
There's a post credits?
Yeah, I didn't know until I was going to look up like the poster because I would love like a poster of that movie. It was just like a girl putting on the crown. Like a little girl. I don't know if they showed her earlier in the movie. I think they did. And there was just like a crown on the ground, and she just put this on her head.
Huh?
Yeah.
What was the location?
It looked like it was maybe somebody's house, or I don't know if it's like a castle or anything. It just seemed like a room, and the crown was just on the ground.
Huh? It wasn't the temple.
Maybe it was, but they just showed the crown on the ground.
Huh.
Then yeah, she just goes and sees it, and you could tell like for her, it just seemed like a toy. I wonder maybe the symbolism is like these people think highly of this shit, so this girl is just like a fucking toy, and she just puts it on her head. And I don't blame you because I didn't know. I just after it ended, I just cut it off.
Yeah.
I was just looking up for the poster because I thought the movie looked amazing. I like to get a poster of it. Mm-hmm. Then I kept seeing like post credit scene meaning. I was like post credit scene, you know. Then I actually just my second viewing, I let it ride and see what it was.
Yeah, I gotta watch someone tear this movie apart.
Oh yeah, like actually dissect it.
That's smarter than me. Yeah, because I'm just.
You just lost.
Yeah. With the symbolism.
Before I guess I talk about the ending, the last leg when they go to that castle with that actor Joe Egerton, and the other woman, I don't know her name.
Yeah.
But
that was some weird ass shit.
Yeah, that was strange. I also like the maid that they had that just has the covering of her eye. Because you ever seen that meme of like the guy from Star Trek where he's like, "Can't see shit, Captain." That's what I kept thinking whenever I saw her. Just sitting there, just not knowing what the fuck is going on. I mean, I think she could see because she kind of walks around and shit. But one thing that confused me, it's going to be kind of crude about that. Well, I guess both of them. It was when, you know, the woman goes to his chambers.
Yeah.
So I was like, are they doing it or what's going on? So I was confused. I was like, did he premature ejaculate or some shit? Is that why she's like, you know, at nights or?
I think she was jacking him off.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then he got that.
That shit was gross.
He busted all over his hand.
Yeah. I was just
and he got it on the green belt. That's supposed to give him protection.
I was embarrassed for him.
So, was it the same green belt?
That's another thing. Like, she just had it. I wonder if people that read this poem, is that just what happens? You know,
maybe we should have read the poem.
Yeah, because it seems like it is like a bunch of stories. It seems like cut into one. So maybe we're not supposed to view it as a continuous movie or continuous story. It just has like little things here and there.
Like it's like a video game. You got the main quest.
Yeah.
And then he did some side quests on the side for the XP.
Oh, well, no, because he still got fucked up at the end. But yeah.
I mean, did he though?
See, I think what happened at the ending is that the story you hear about where before somebody dies, they imagine some shit.
Yeah.
So that's how I imagined. Like at that point, it's him testing out his courage. Like, okay, if I bitch out now, what could happen? That's how I view it. And one thing I would say about the last like 15 minutes, that shit is like it's amazing because there's barely any dialogue, barely any audible dialogue throughout the last 15 minutes, and it's just very gripping because it tells you the story visually,
right?
You know, of what's happening. And I feel like I think you hear some dialogue here and there, and one of the audible ones was like, fit to wear the crown after like his son dies and he comes back, and I thought maybe they made a point of for you to hear that. Maybe because that's how he feels about himself and shit like that. But I thought that was shot really well, and it was just paced really well. And then when it comes back to, and it's like, oh, okay, this is what could happen if I just bitch out and go back and act like, I defeated this monster. Like, it'll still come for me anyway. I'm not going to escape this. It's not going to be the best life. So let me just be brave and just go through this shit.
But why is he Sir Gawain then?
What do you mean?
Because, I mean, that's a title you give to a knight.
I guess because he... What do you mean, like, afterwards?
I mean, like, the tale is about Sir Gawain.
Because at the ending, right before the Green Knight chops off his head, he calls him a knight. So I guess he finally... becomes brave enough
that is
to be
right.
a knight.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So I think that's what he's chasing. He was chasing the whole time. So I think
he wanted to be a knight.
Yeah, like he wanted, because remember when I was talking to Joel Edgerton, I don't know his character, in that castle before he gets to the Green Knight, he's like telling like, what do you want to do this for? And he's like, honor, and you could tell that's something that's bothering him. Like he wants to be recognized as a knight. He wants to be honorable. And at the end, I think it's just he realized, like, for me to be honorable, to be a knight, I have to go through this game. And I think, as dark as it is, when the Green Knight tells him, like, you're brave, or something, my brave knight, or something like that, it's like, oh, he finally gets that honor right before he goes. So maybe the legend going forward, because he went through the actual game, it's like, he has courage. And he's, maybe the Green Knight tells him, like, hey, this guy chopped off my head a year ago, it came back, and, I chopped this shit off, so this guy's a G in my book,
Was he sleeping for that whole year?
I guess so.
He was posted up in that temple, just like, oh, I can't wait to kill him.
Yeah. I was thinking, why didn't Gawain lie? Because he's like, is it Christmas? You could have said like, nah, Christmas.
I got here a little early.
Yeah. Or you woke up, you should set your alarm clock. You missed Christmas by a couple of days, so I'm good to go. But that's how at least I
was trying to wake you up.
Yeah.
I've been here for like 3 days, bro. What are you talking?
Because right before he, I guess maybe the false ending he had, or before he runs away, he kind of scared, he's scared, and the knight asks like, hey, have you had a whole year to build up courage for this, and he's like, yeah, even if it's like so many years, I still wouldn't have the courage. So it just shows like it's in a battle of like courage and being brave. That's how I viewed it, at least. And I think that's what the whole movie was for. It's just pride and honor and what you just consider important, I guess.
Yeah.
And it does a good job with that. Even though there's like a lot of symbolism in between that I don't understand what the fuck is going on. The main point I think it does a good job sticking to, because you can see it throughout his face in the whole movie. Like he just wants to be sure of himself. He just wants something so he could say, like, they could look up. People could see him as an honorable person or a knight.
Yeah.
So, do you think that kind of closes up the end a little bit for you, or are you still?
I mean,
the alternate stuff?
Yeah, I guess so. And now that I think about it a little deeper, I think about it like.
I might still be wrong too, so
I don't know.
I'll check the internet for that.
Because I don't know. There's a lot of stuff here. So like the fox.
Yeah.
was interesting because he was like sleeping in a cave, and Fox comes up and he's like, "Hey, yo, I'm your companion."
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't say shit. And then at the end, he just starts talking. Yeah. I was like, "Man, you could have talked this whole time."
It's like
and then he's like, "Hey, yo, bro, you know, like, just turn around."
Yeah, you don't have to do it because even the Fox tells him like, "Hey, if you don't go over there, that's between me and you. I mean, I'm not gonna tell anybody you bitched out. You know, it's okay." So. Yeah, the Fox was very interesting. It seemed like he's like guiding him through.
What would have happened if he never went there?
To
the temple in the first place. I mean, because he was like, you know, part of the challenge is, you know, in a year you got to travel out to my hood. I'm like, that's like, man, I'm not gonna make it.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
I got other travel plans
I got
and shit.
plans.
You know,
travels, leaves the continent, however the fuck they're at. And just goes away. But I wonder if that's what the vision at the end shows. Like, even no matter what happens, it was going to come for him anyway at some point.
Yeah,
I think that's what the ending is showing.
Yeah, because I mean that like imagined life or whatever. Like that was a lot.
No,
like
yeah.
What is he? He goes home. He gets knighted. Like. They just start going to war and start winning this shit.
Oh, he has a son by Bullcut Girl.
Yeah, by Bullcut.
Yeah.
Girl. I guess that's like, or no, that they didn't even make her the queen. He just like threw the money on the bed.
And got the.
I was like, dang, just kind of a call back to the beginning. When as he's leaving, he just kind of throws the.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I was more so thinking about how rappers are when they might have like a girl. Back when they were, you know, bubbling underground artists, and the moment they get big, they're like, you know what, she looks better, so I'm gonna dump you real quick and just go get this other girl. Since I got more fame and more notoriety now. It happens a lot in Hollywood and stuff like that. Junior Dos Santos, an MMA fighter, did that actually because it's fucked up. But his first wife, let's just say she's a very nice looking, a nice person. You know, just a nice person. And the moment he kind of becomes champion,
we were doing so well. You're about to get us canceled.
Oh, it happened. He divorces her and starts dating like a nice looking person. So it's like we know what happened there. But I mean, that's what I thought. I thought it was
he upgraded.
Yeah. I guess that's a long-winded way of saying he upgraded.
Yeah. So Galvin did. He went from bowl cut girl to like not bowl cut.
Oh my god, too. I mean, what do you call that hairstyle then? The one she had.
The other girl. I kind of forgot what she had. The tattoo.
Yeah, whatever. She had like I don't know some.
A lot of girls in that movie were rocking that like sideways like horn shit. Yeah. I was like, man, everyone's a witch in this shit. What?
Remember Little Nicky?
I never saw Little.
Oh, okay. You don't need to.
I heard Little Dicky.
Oh my god. But
what'd you think about when I sent you this morning? Because you were talking about the next movie we're gonna do. It's like, I think it's on Two of These.
Oh,
Two of These nuts.
I thought you had a stroke, man. What did that look like? That's like an inside joke between us. But any more you want to add to this movie?
Yeah. So like, what I was getting to, like, what I just kind of like made sense. Is basically like at the end his vision of like his like imagined life or what have you. At the end of it, he takes off the
sash.
Yeah, the green. Yeah, sash or belt. Whatever that
Gucci
thing
belt.
is. Yeah. Shows up to fight with his Gucci belt. Oh Lord, the one he nutted on.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, at that point, he never take that shit off. So.
Oh, also, hold up. Before I even get to that, what was up with all the people in that last castle? Because like he's like, when you come back this way, we won't be here.
Also, he made out with him first before that too.
Oh yeah, he sure did. And he's like,
He's like, hey, you have something for me. It's like, no, I don't, bro. It's like, yes, you do. I could take it from you. Then he just kind of lays a kiss on him. I was like, that's very interesting. If I was Dave Patel, I mean, I like women. But I was like, I'll be flattered. Like, damn, I'm so good looking. I got the guy and the girl from this place after me. But I'll choose the girl.
Didn't he say like whatever he gives him, like he'll have to give back?
Oh, did he?
Or something like, I think he said something like that.
Maybe.
And then, yeah, I think he said something like that. So I was like, oh shit. Now he's got to jack him up.
Oh my god. Boy, he didn't do it in the first place.
But his girl did. Was that his wife?
I don't even know.
They don't even make that shit
clear.
They
don't make that
shit
clear.
His daughter?
Even the first appearance in that castle is so weird because guy one like breaks in through the door. Then there's fucking that dude in the fucking bear outfit. Like, hey friend. Then before guy one passes out. I'll be weirded out, man. Like, oh man, I'm into a house of like furries and shit. You know, that's the first thing I would think of. But that was a very strange, like, just interaction. Even like the portrait she did. I was like, was that a portrait? Or was like the first invention of like a picture? I mean, like camera or some shit. Because she just kind of did some weird shit with the reflection of the lights and.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
How did he put it? That was a queer painting.
Yeah. Stuff you could say back then, but it's like.
Queer doesn't. It just means strange.
I know it means strange.
But it has like modern day connotations.
Yeah,
that, people.
Things have changed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you were talking about that part. Really.
Yeah, like the whole last castle. Just like I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Because they're like, he's talking about like, oh, I can't really stop. I gotta head to the temple. He's like, nah, man, you gotta get there on Christmas time. We all heard about you, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like everybody's talking about you, bro. Like we know. It was like, man, you don't gotta get there till Christmas, bro. That shit's like right there.
Yeah,
just chill with us here, eat our food. Fuck my bitch. Like, I mean,
that's what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That was
that whole castle was like weird.
This movie makes me want to read the story so much because it's so kind of like it's kind of disjointed, but not in a bad way. But it's just like every story seems like its own story. Its own contained story. Yeah. So I wonder if the poem, or somebody who could break down the poem, like if there's more to it than what we saw.
There may be.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, it definitely seems like it. But
like back in those days, like those poems and shit. Like when someone said like, "Oh, I'm gonna sing a song," or like I'm gonna recite a poem, that shit was like long as hell, what I'm saying?
Oh, really?
So it might be a long as hell poem.
I'll just read the summary. I don't know.
Do the Spark Notes?
The Spark Notes, yeah, back in the day. Yeah. Or I'll just see like a breakdown of it, but it does seem very interesting.
But yeah, getting back to the sash that he nutted on. Yeah. So he's like in his vision, he takes it off and then his head comes off. And I think like his life vision was like in a way showing him like, you remove this sash, you're gonna die. Type shit.
Yeah, because it wasn't binded by some spell too.
Yeah, I mean that's what his mom had said. Like, no harm will come to you. And then like when he was in that castle, this girl was like, "Hey, yo, I made you this."
Yeah.
I was like, but we just saw his mom.
No, it does. Like, yeah, his mom made it. That other guy took it, the scavenger. Then all of a sudden, then this woman has it. And so it's like, what the fuck is going on? And she's like claiming she made it and stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
So it's like, what is going on, Yeah. So that's why I'm thinking the poem must have more to do with that stuff.
And then also like another connection is, you were talking about earlier how like the maid is like has the...
Yeah, the sheet like over her eyes.
Yeah. His mom had the same shit.
Oh yeah.
But she was doing the spell and stuff. So
yeah.
I'm like...
Yeah, if anybody has an explanation about that, please put that in the comments. Also, make sure to like and subscribe before the Green Knight chops your head off. So.
Oh yeah. You know what though? But like, because like one of the main problems is like, you know, he was asking anybody like, you know, anybody got a story they could tell me or whatever. They're gonna have a story for the next year, you know.
Oh well, yeah, that's true. The story thing reminded me a lot of this thing. Have you ever seen a movie called Beowulf or heard of Beowulf?
I have not.
Yeah, like at least the adaptation I saw.
We read a little bit of it in high school. I think
there's like plenty of adaptation and stuff like that. The most recent one was. Or the most recent one I remember was the one that came out in the late 2000s. It was like CGI, kind of dated CGI now, but I really liked that movie. And that movie was a big thing. It was like, you need a tail because I guess Beowulf started lining about some shit. They kind of seem more grandiose and shit. So a lot of the stuff here when we're talking about tales and stuff like that remind me of that. It's like, I guess back then just having stories to tell was like a big deal.
I mean, they didn't have the TV,
or the Twitter or anything.
Yeah,
so it's just word of mouth type shit. But that's where telephone comes in. You know, like you tell somebody, oh, you know, I whoop somebody's ass. It might be the same heights. Then the next person tells like, yeah, he beat that giant ass, and it just keeps going on. You know, kind of.
That motherfucker was like 8 feet.
Yeah, you know, it just kind of builds upon itself. But yeah, as for me, I guess, did you finish with your point of the sash and just kind of being weird?
Well, yeah, I think, so it kind of like went back to it, because we were talking about earlier how he at the end he says, I'm not ready. Mm-hmm. And then like, oh no, homie has the audacity to be like, what did he say? Did I flinch when you had at me?
Yeah.
Or whatever?
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, you know you can grow your head back. That's not even fair.
Well, he told you the terms and conditions. So, yeah, I know what you mean, though. When you know that you could come back, you're not going to flinch, you know? Yeah. Like, this guy, this is it for him, man.
Yeah.
That shit sucks.
There's no respawn point.
Yeah, there's no.
He
no
quick saves.
Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe that's what happened. Maybe the imaginary ending was like, yeah, I don't like that ending. Let me go back to the checkpoint. It's just the checkpoint sucks because you're not any better. You know, it's like in Prince of Persia when you fall off like a cliff and you're like, I could rewind time. And you rewind back to when you just started running off the fucking wall, so you die anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what it seemed like to me. But I could go ahead and give my rating.
Okay.
This was almost like a perfect movie, but I have to give it a 9 beheadings out of 10. That's kind of a dark rating, but. And the positives was just like, you know, I really like the technical stuff it did. I like the story, even though it's like we said earlier, there's lots of symbolism and stuff. Mm-hmm. The main points you can still follow through. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that the director just kind of just played around with. I know I'm just going to the technical stuff, but just played around with lots of shit. Like it just stands out. And my negative I already mentioned was the pacing. The pacing in the middle just kind of slows down. So I would still recommend this movie to somebody, but I would definitely tell them like, hey, you know, it does kind of get slow in the middle. And I can see the ending being not satisfying a lot of people, but I like it. I think it does a better job of being rewatchable than like The Lighthouse, because I feel like Lighthouse is almost the same way of like slow building stuff. It's just that the ending and just what happened in that movie was kind of like, it wasn't satisfying. So I don't find myself really going back and watching that again. With this, I can see myself watching it again. So that's why I got to my rating.
Okay. For me, I'm gonna have to go like an 8.5. Nutted on sessions.
Oh my god, that's gross. That's so gross, dude.
I know. But yeah, like you said, like we had been talking about, like very technically, like the shots were fantastic. The cinematography, the colors, the set design, the costumes, everything was like. I don't know the period well enough to say like everything was period accurate.
Yeah, yeah.
But beautiful nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
And just an interesting story.
Oh yeah.
And you hear a lot about like, oh, this book is getting a movie deal or what have you. It's all these like young adult fiction books.
Luckily that died off.
And it's like. They went way back for this one. We found this old crusty ass book.
Yeah, sure.
We're about to make a movie out of. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like, not your typical thing that would get a film adaptation. I think
that's true. Yeah, and it is like their writer is anonymous, so you can't like fight over the rights. You don't know who wrote it. You
gotta fight.
Over your rights. Oh my god.
To make the movie.
What's that band again?
The Beastie Boys.
The Beastie Boys.
Bro, you forgot about the Beastie Boys?
Yeah, I did actually. I know. I mean, I like Intergalactic.
Like the best white rappers of all time, or MCs if you want to get technical.
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice. Yeah. Ice.
Yeah. But sorry, I caught you off the point though.
No, you're good. Yeah. So like. Beautiful all around, not a typical story that you would see get a film adaptation. The reason it's like an 8.5 and not something higher just has a lot to do with, to me, kind of like you were saying, the ending was a little unsatisfying.
Yeah.
I still liked the ending. But I wanted more.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, he congratulates him. He's like, well done, my brave knight. Because he took off the sash. And he's like, now off with your head.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, oh. And then it just cuts to the tree stump. With the Green Knight. And so just very, very abrupt ending. And so I would have liked to see, either him get beheaded or him be excused and like that was a big test and now he gets to go home or something. But I guess what you were talking about it is kind of definitive. Is like he does get beheaded. And I guess in that sense, like I didn't want that to be the ending. I thought this was like his redemption arc, type thing. And I guess in a way it still was. But I thought, that would just be, end with him going home and things being hunky dory. But yeah, the acting was good.
Oh yeah.
Just like I said, some of the stuff like being a little unclear took points off for me as far as like the symbolism, what those things were supposed to symbolize. A lot of not a lot, but like a few plot points here and there, kind of like you were talking about. Like 1 second he gets the axe stolen, then it's back, and then like.
The sash.
He gets his sash stolen, then those ladies talk about, I made this shit for you. I'm like, no, you didn't. So all that kind of just like took away from it. But at the end of the day, I would still recommend this movie. I would say it's probably not a movie for everybody.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You have to have a certain type of taste to enjoy it, I would say. If you enjoy A24 films, I would say this is probably going to be right up your alley. Because they all kind of have like a similar vibe to them. They're different stories, but they tend to have a similar vibe. And so overall, I think it's a good movie, but some things I would change.
Yeah, I can see that. And you were talking about the story. I feel like the story, I think it's very relatable. Funny enough. Because, that's something a lot of, maybe as a man, you kind of chase. Maybe honor or just sense of purpose. Sometimes. And it's funny, even though they go all the way back there, it's still like a story that still kind of timeless and still relatable. And I guess before we go, we're going to have like maybe a discussion episode about this. Like just directors, man, just, don't follow the formula. Do your own shit. Take chances. even if it doesn't work, and that's something I guess I will have to go back and say, like, even though I didn't really enjoy The Lighthouse as much as I enjoy this, looking back at it now, I did, and I do admire what they went for. Because at least they still did something different, something of their own.
Right.
So like, I appreciate that. And it's another reason I like doing this podcast, is like seeing movies like this. Because there's actually, I know we've been bitching about this maybe in a couple of movie reviews, like, oh, movies are kind of the same now. But, you know, seeing stuff like this lets you know people are still out there trying shit. I kind of wish it was more mainstream to try, like, just different things.
Right.
But yeah, if you're like a up and coming director, just still doing your own thing. You know, giving your own take. Even if it doesn't work, at least you still tried.
Yeah.
You know,
fuck the formula.
Yeah.
And like, fuck the cinematic normalities, or like, oh, this is how it's done.
Yeah.
And shit like that. I mean, like, I feel like if we, you know, as creative people, just kind of like learn to say, like, I know this is what people would normally do with this situation, but, like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do my own shit. Like, maybe even like, there's directors that, you know, they use all fucking like natural lighting. They don't even do any like extra lighting and shit, and that's more than I could say. We got these fucking we got the soft whites over here. We'll do a setup video one day so you can see how we do it. But yeah, I mean, like, just shit like that, just unconventional shit that like ends up making the movie like 20 times better. I'm like, yeah, if you're out there thinking like, hey, yo, maybe I don't want to do it this way, but I feel like I kind of have to because that's how it's done. Like, no, forget that shit. Do it how you want. If it works, like, then you can be like, hey, yo, this is how I did that, and then people will be like, oh shit. And then if it doesn't work, you know, like,
learn from it, you know.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
There'll still be somebody out there who might appreciate it. You never know.
Oh, for sure, sure.
But again, please make sure to like and subscribe, and please leave a comment or your interpretation about the movie. You know, how you felt.
Especially if you feel like you're smarter than us, please explain to us the symbolism. Because I'm lost.
Oh, link us like a video that explains it or something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess that will be it for this episode.
Yep. Catch you guys later.
Catch you guys later, and please watch The Green Knight if you're into this type of film.
Yep.
Hey.